Let's further discuss this now with Fawaz Gerges. He is a professor of international relations at the London School of Economics. Thank you so much, Professor, for being with us on the program. Now, there aren't many details on what this peace plan entails, but many experts, they believe it will include topics on the rebuilding of Gaza and an administration that will lead Gaza, as both the U.S. and Israel say Hamas isn't an option.
And thank you for having me. I think this is an initial meeting by several Arab states and leaders to discuss a plan for Gaza, a reconstruction plan for Gaza. The meeting, and there will be a summit, an Arab summit, on the 4th of March to present the plan. And this plan is supposed to be an alternative plan to Donald Trump. It's really the collective Arab response to Donald Trump. There are two major practical problems facing the Arab plan. The first one is costs. Who's going to really pay to reconstruct Gaza? The estimates are you need more than $50 billion to reconstruct Gaza because Israel destroyed everything. Hospitals, clinics, schools, mosques, roads, buildings, universities. I mean, there is nothing left in Gaza. And the Arab states, in particular the wealthy Arab states, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, have made it very clear they will not finance the reconstruction plan unless there is a vision for a Palestinian state for the morning after. So what if you reconstruct Gaza in the next few years and Israel comes and destroys what the entire process? The second question, and it's very difficult, who's going to really govern Gaza? Who's going to rule Gaza? Because the Americans and the Israelis insist that Gaza should not have any role politically and militarily. They want to really expel Gaza. And the Arab states really have no clarity about what kind of authority, Palestinian authority, or any kind of authority to govern Gaza once the reconstruction begins.
This plan, as you mentioned, it's being prepared in response to Donald Trump's announcement on taking over Gaza, making it the Riviera of the Middle East. What happens if Donald Trump isn't on board?
The Arab states, with all due respect, are making a terrible mistake. The Arab world is making a terrible mistake. Why? You might say, why? First of all, I think the Arab world now is in a state of reaction. They are reacting to a foolish and monstrous plan by Donald Trump, the far right in the United States and Israel. My question is, what Donald Trump has done, he has flipped the script on the Palestinians, the Arab world, and the international community. No one is talking now about a path to a Palestinian state. Hardly anyone is talking about a Palestinian state for self-determination. We're talking about the reconstruction of Gaza. My question for us, the Arab world, what's the Arab vision? Not only for Gaza, what's the Arab vision for the Arab world and for Palestine? You have an Arab vision. You have an Arab initiative, which was, as you know, put on the table in 2002 in Beirut. And the vision, the Arab vision for Palestine is peace for land. You don't normalize relations with Israel unless Israel withdraws from occupied Palestinian lands and Arab land. So what I really want the Arab world to do is not only try to basically act on the terms set by Donald Trump and the Israelis. I want the Arab world, in fact, to increase its own demands.
Right.
They want a Palestinian state, and they want Israel and the United States to pay for the costs in Gaza, because after all, it was Israel that has destroyed almost 70% of the infrastructure in Gaza.
I mean, it seems like Saudi Arabia is one of the heavyweights in this case. How will Trump's interests in the kingdom and their investment potentially change things?
Absolutely correct. Saudi Arabia now is really a geopolitical heavyweight because of its wealth, because of its really cultural weight, being the birthplace of Islam, and also because the Crown Prince has close relations not only with Donald Trump, but with the Chinese and the Russians and other powers in the region, including Turkey. I think Saudi Arabia has made it very clear. It will not normalize relations with Israel unless there is a pathway to a Palestinian state. And the Saudis have been really very vocal, opposing and rejecting Donald Trump's basically plan or idea or vision to expelling 2.4 million Palestinians from Gaza. So I think Saudi Arabia really is a major player. But I would argue you really need a collective Arab vision, a collective Arab position to confront Donald Trump and Netanyahu and the far right, both in the United States and Israel. And without a concrete and effective Arab vision, it's not about statement, it's not about rhetoric. And I really would like also the Arab world to bring in the Muslim world and the international community in order to exert pressure both on Donald Trump, on Israel, to basically envision or see a path to a Palestinian state.
Professor Fawaz Gerges, thank you so much for joining us here on the NewsHour. I really appreciate your time.